everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and today we actually got a new trailer for Mission Impossible 7, also known as Mission Impossible Dead of Reckoning Part 1. And yeah, I'm super excited to see this film because it's really weird because with the Mission Impossible series, like the way that I actually got into it, it wasn't until I believe it was Ghost Protocol that I really started to kind of get really tuned into the whole franchise. Beforehand, I always thought it was just kind of mediocre, but after then, like, I have to say, like, the whole franchise has taken up a notch in terms of not just the story, but also just the mind-blowing action. I mean, just to see Tom Cruise just having to, perform all these stunts has been pretty incredible. I think that has really changed how, Tom Cruise has really put himself out there as an actor. And it's one of the reasons why we've all really enjoyed watching the Mission Impossible series. Now, of course, we know, like, in the way that we've been viewing the Fast franchise, or at least in some capacity, we know that the Mission Impossible franchise is also kind of coming to its end as well, where they're gonna have the 2-part finale. And of course, Mission Impossible Dead of Reckoning Part 1 is just the beginning of the end. And so we'll see kind of how Tom Cruise is going to, basically try to end off the franchise as basically become like a big part of his career for like about a decade and a half. Like it has been since 1996, right? So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really incredible just to see what else we're going to get out of Dead of Reckoning. I've been reading a lot about some of the stunts that we're going to see in the film. We already got a couple of snippets of it and some of the teaser trailers, as well as one of the videos that he did showing the behind the scenes of him, like of that bike scene. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the trailer for Mission Impossible Dead of Reckoning Part 1.
Lives.
Okay, so here's that bike scene.
And we cannot escape the past. Ethan, this mission of yours is gonna cost you dearly.
The world
The
is
iconic theme
changing.
song.
Truth is vanishing. War is coming.
Okay.
It's been a long time, friend. You've no idea the power it
So
represents.
he's one of the villains, I know that.
It knows your story and how it ends.
Oh yeah, this cap scene. It's nice to see her back.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you.
His fate is written. Shall we write yours too?
If anything happens to them, there's no place that I won't go to kill you. That is written.
Oh man, this scene. Oh, I can't even imagine watching this in IMAX.
Ethan, what's your objective? What's your ultimate objective?
Oh,
Your life will always matter more to me than my own.
oh, whoa.
None of
Oh,
our lives can matter more than this mission.
I don't accept that.
unusual. Right, so that was the trailer for Mission Impossible 7 or Mission Impossible Dead of Reckoning Part 1. And yeah, that was a lot. There was a lot of great new scenes to see from there. We definitely get a far more closer look of Haylet Atwell in her role, because there's been a lot of questions about really where her character stands in terms of like the morality scale. Like, is she part of the good guys? Is she part of the bad guys? There's definitely this ambiguity regarding her character. So, but even then, we still don't get a really definitive answer about her character in this trailer, but we do see far more footage of her and Ethan together. So it seems as if there's going to be a lot of interaction between them. Like, that's something I've at least thought this is going to be the case going into this film, because again, some of the early, some of the early clips that we have seen before, some of the teasers and trailers, like we can see there's a lot of scenes between the two. So I wonder where her character falls into all of this. Like, that's probably the biggest question going into this movie. But yeah, aside from that, I mean, it's very action packed. The stunt work looks just really incredible, just looks of it. That bike scene again, like I can't even imagine just watching it on like IMAX or Dolby, just to see that visual. Like that's some pretty scary stuff to watch. I actually I can't remember which, I believe it was Fallout. Like, I had taken my whole family to go see Fallout. I had like gotten advanced screening passes for them, and there was the one scene, it was either the one where at the very end, or it was the one where, the renowned or the notorious scene that caused Tom Cruise to fracture his ankle. It was either one of those two scenes that I had taken my parents to go see Fallout for. And I remember one of my parents had told me that, there was one particular scene that really like got them tensed up because of how extremely scary it looked. Because again, Tom Cruise is someone who really loves doing stunt work. That's how he's become renowned for. We saw how he really put so much effort into it with Top Gun Maverick, and now we're seeing it again. Like, this is something that he's continuing on with Mission Impossible, and now we're seeing basically the last two films that he's going to make. And yeah, just to see the stunt work, the efforts that he puts into it, it's just been really incredible. Just again, seeing it from this trailer, like the far more extended trailer, showing off again the fact that, the extent that they'll go to really just amp up the choreography, the action. Like, it looks just absolutely amazing. So I cannot wait to see this for sure in July. Like, I think I may have put Mission Impossible Dead of Reckoning Part 1 as one of my most anticipated, or if I have not, it probably was in my honorable mentions for sure. Because again, like, unlike some of the other big franchises that are very action packed, this is the one where I actually do feel like there's a lot of, like, you got to give a lot of credit for how they really kind of expanded and improved upon itself, and how they really kind of present a lot of their, aesthetics and the elements that they put into that really define its own franchise. And again, just putting in the realism of how they're doing all the work for the actual film, and not just using just CGI, but actually putting more into the practical effects of really giving us a far more effective, far more immersive experience of watching just the incredible work on the big screen. And that's why, again, like, I cannot wait to see this movie. Definitely, again, lots of questions about like the villain. We get to see a bit more of the villain here, of course. But it also, one of the things I do have to say is that the more, like, as you get more towards the end of this trailer, it does give off this feeling that, like, Ethan Hunt, right? So the character that Tom Cruise plays, like, you do get the sense like how he is talking to his team, the team that he's been with for a long time, with characters like Benji, Elsa. Like, we all know these characters for a long time, and just the way that he's interacting with them and conversing with them, and having seen this trailer, like, it seems really clear. Like, you get the sense that it could be the beginning of the end. Like, it sounds as if he's giving off his farewell message to them. And not just that, but you can also see how Ethan and Elsa's relationship is really flourishing, because Fallout had established that they were basically becoming like, a couple, just because they have a lot of, and like a lot of things in common, and how he has moved on from his previous love from Mission Impossible 3. And then just from seeing all of this, it becomes pretty clear how everyone is really just preparing for the beginning of the end. We still have a bit more time. Like, we do have Part 1 this year, and then Part 2 comes out next year. I do believe they are filming Part 2, or they may have finished it. I'm not 100% certain. I know it took a little bit of time to at least finish off part 1. They had just actually concluded some of the shoots for it, or at least the reshoots. So now it's a matter of really just the post-production, finishing up the film, editing it out up until it's released in July. And so, yeah, we'll see how it all starts to really unfold and how they're going to begin to end off this long franchise that's really kind of changed the landscape of action movies. Like, again, like I don't think we would have the action movies that we have today. We wouldn't have this admiration for using practical effects, using realistic stunt work, having to, you know, give far more credit to stunt choreographers, stunt coordinators for really just putting in this work, trying to give us a bit more of a flair of how to, you know, enhance action scenes in movies, right? Like, we probably wouldn't have that if it wasn't for franchises like Mission Impossible. And now, again, we're starting to see the beginning of the end of it. But I'm super excited to see this film. Just having to see this trailer, it definitely seems very promising. And we'll see where it goes, and trying to leading up to not just this film, but also leading up to what would eventually become the finale, the swan song of the franchise. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the trailer for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. What are your thoughts? What do you think about some of the scenes that we've seen so far? What do you think about the villains? What do you think about Haylet Atwell's character? Are you just like me, trying to figure out who Atwell's character is like? Is she more on the good side, more on the bad side? Is she mixed? Where does she fall upon? What do you think about the trailer itself? Like, are you also getting the sense that we are getting kind of the beginning, the end vibes? The fact that we are seeing Ethan Hunt kind of giving off this vibe that, you know, this is basically becoming my last mission, and I'm not going to risk everyone's lives as a result of it. What does that imply? What does that mean? And of course, like, what do you think about the whole franchise itself? Like, how has it been a big part of, you know, your life? Like, I mean, for me, again, it kind of preceded me a little bit, but I've been able to catch up on the franchise, and I've actually since grown up. I basically have grown up, you know, with the whole franchise since then. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts about that. What are your favorite Mission Impossible movies leading up to this one? And what do you think about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1? Are you expecting it to be just as big in terms of the action and the story as we've seen from previous movies? Let me know in the thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe.